In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to private label and brand your dropshipping products. I'm going to be talking about the pros, the cons, how to contact the suppliers, which suppliers to use, which fulfillment centers to use, what companies to use to create the logos, the branding, the packaging and whatnot. So in today's video, if you want to learn how to private label your products to look like a more realistic brand and a higher perceived brand, then you're going to want to watch this video till the end, because I'm going to be covering absolutely everything you need to know on how to private label products and brand them. So let's start off by talking about the pros of private labeling your products. So the first pro is your store will sell for more on the marketplace. So things like Shopify Exchange, Flipper, you'll get such more money and a larger return on investment when you have a private label store in terms of selling it. Now, for example, some dropshipping stores without private label sell for around about 20, 50, 30, 40, 100, sometimes even 150, 200,000. Now, if you've got a private label store, you can even sell your store for even more money, things like $1 million, $2 million. For example, Gymshark was a dropshipping store, then went private label, and now they're worth $10 million. So that just shows you the power of private labeling in terms of resale value. Now, people will know you're the original store when others copy your products. So let's say, for example, when people copycat the products on dropshipping, which is a massive thing that happens, if people see you as the originator, that means a lot of people are going to go back to you instead of going to these copycat stores. The next one is higher perceived value. You can charge more for the product. So for example, if your competitor that hasn't got private label selling your product for $29.99, you can charge an extra $10, because when people think of a brand, they think of better customer service, they think of better product qualities and other good values of a brand. Now, the next thing is you'll have a better chance to work with influencers. Now, with influencers, when you start to go to the 1 million followers that are legit, they are wanting to promote products with an actual brand. The reason being is because at the end of the day, when they try and sell it to their audience, it needs to be of high values and high qualities, and they don't want to just sell anything without a logo on it. They want to make sure that they're working with a brand they like. Now, influencers just like working with brands they truly believe in, so that's another reason why. You can also offer an affiliate program to your fans. Now, obviously, when you build a brand, you're going to get fans. Obviously, I'm sure you guys right now who are watching this, you have brands that you love and you're a fan of, so that's an example. Now, affiliate programs, a lot of people do it to normal dropshipping stores, but it just doesn't work because you need to have a fan base really for it to work. Now, when you've got a private label store, as long as you have good values like good customer service, good product quality, good branding, then you're going to build a fan base and they're going to want to affiliate your product. Now, affiliating, if you don't know what it is when somebody promotes your product and they take a commission once they get a sale for you. So it's a great way of getting loads of sales. It's unreal how much money you can make with affiliate marketers on your store. But at the end of the day, if you want it to work, you do need to build a proper private label store and build some fans. Now, this can take some time, but when you do achieve it, it's definitely worth it. The next one is your store will have a longer lifespan. Now, most dropshipping stores with the trendy products last between 2 and 18 months. Now, 18 months is at best. It's normally between 2 and, in my opinion, 8 months. So at the end of the day, having a longer lifespan is very, very important in business. The next thing is you'll attract investors and partnerships and even sponsorships. So this is another really, really good reason. At the end of the day, you're going to attract investors. So if you want to take your business to the next level, or let's say you want to take it to a $1 million company, you're going to need some form of investors if you don't have the cash flow. Also, you're going to have partnerships and sponsorships. So if other brands or other companies like what you're doing, then they're going to want to do some partnerships or sponsorships with you. So this is a very, 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 very good opportunity for your brand to grow and build an extra following. So let's talk about the cons now. So the first con, it's not really a con, it's larger. It's got a large investment. So in terms of what you need is a lot more. Now, the reason why it's a large investment is due to bulk ordering. Now, at the end of the day, you only really want to be doing this once you find a niche or a product that's actually working, because then at the end of the day, you're decreasing the risk factor. Because at the end of the day, if you know something's working, then at the end of the day, if you private label it, you're going to still sell more of it and make more money with it. If you just go on AliExpress and pick a random product and private label it, then there's a higher chance of it just not working. So the next thing is you need to manage your stock keeping unit. So you need to have somebody that's managing your SKUs, because if you don't, then you're going to have inventory and logistic problems. So this is another thing that a lot of people just can't get their heads around, and they struggle with this. So SKU is very, very important. So you need to make sure that you're doing it properly. Now there's a larger risk due to inventory stock. So I mentioned this before, you need to buy in bulk. The next one is you need a fulfillment center, more logistics, more human error potential. So obviously when you get more things that need to be done, so for example, you need to have the products private labeled, you need to have the mock-ups for the private labeling, like the packaging and how you want the product to be designed. So there's so more factors into this process, so there's a lot more chance for human error to happen. So just do bear that in mind, and remember guys, human error is a natural thing, so don't get angry when it happens. It just happens at the end of the day. So let's talk a little bit about method 1. Now this is the simple way of private labeling. You need to already be working with a dropshipping agent for this to work. So how you find dropshipping agents, if you don't already know how to do this, is you can use things like China to West, Upwork, Fiverr, China Source Link. Now when you do Upwork or Fiverr, so Upwork is where you create a job post and then you just literally put in the job post, I'm looking for a dropshipping agent, blah 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 blah. Now with Fiverr you can actually search for dropshipping agents and it'll come up. Now with China to West and China Source Link, they're actual websites and brands that specialize in this dropshipping agent. Now when working with a dropshipping agent, you need to ask them about private labeling. They will contact and meet the supplier. So if you're already working with an agent, they already know who your supplier is, they already have a relationship with the supplier, and what you need to do is just ask them to speak to the supplier about private labeling. And what they'll do is they'll contact the supplier, meet them. If not, they can call them on their phone, and because obviously they speak Mandarin, they'll have a better chance with the supplier than you do, and they will negotiate the best results for you. So for you to arrange the negotiation and the best deal for you and the quality and order amount, so they'll do everything for you in terms of the negotiation, working out the best prices and deals, and how many orders you need to order to get that to get the private labeling done. You'll still be shipping from China, which is a positive, but it's also a negative. So the first positive of shipping from China is it's cheaper, especially with this China and US war. It's to ship out the US now, it's just getting a hassle, and I'll be talking about that later. So it's a lot cheaper, but the negative is it will still take a lot longer because you're in China. So do bear that in mind. There are pros and cons to it. The normal minimum order quantity for this to work is 1,000 to 10,000 items or units basically for this to actually work. Now you can actually sometimes get it between 350 and 500, but it's sometimes very uncommon. It's normally 1,000 to 10,000, but that's literally how method 1 works. It's very, very simple, and there's not much more to it. Now you're going to still want to watch this video because I'm going to be talking about how to approach certain suppliers and how to get the design mock-ups made. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to keep watching this video because there's a lot more information coming your way. Now method 2 is fulfillment branding centers. Now use a US or European fulfillment centers like Fulfillment, CJ Dropshipping, Planet Express, ShipBob, or FlowShip. Now these are US fulfillment centers. Now you can use European ones as well, but these are the ones that you're going to want to use. I'm going to be talking about how this works. So what you normally do is you approach AliExpress or Alibaba, you get the product done from them, you get it private labeled, then you get it sent to these fulfillment centers. So that's why you need a fulfillment center. Don't worry if you don't understand what's going on at the moment, it all makes sense in a minute, but I just want to explain the fulfillment center is where you're sending the private label product to. So the next bit is search for a product name on AliExpress, Alibaba, DHgate, Big Buy, or Banggood. So what you do is you search for the product name and then you put private label on the end, or you go to the private label section on the website. So let me just show you quickly how this works. So you can see I'm in DHgate. Now this is where you buy bulk orders and you can get them private label. So let's say for example I want a watch that's private labeled. I'll type in watch and then I'll type in private label at the end. And you can see it comes with this product here where you can private label it. Now, I don't know if I've spelled something wrong, but you can see it says custom box. You can private label the product, it says in the description. Now, let me show you another example on a different supplier. So you can see I'm in Alibaba now, so I'm going to do the exact same. So I'm going to type in watch and then private label. And you can see it already comes up, and you can see once I've searched this now, it's going to come up with so many more products. Now this would have been the same on DHgate, but I just think I spelled it wrong or something. But you can see here it's coming up with loads of different watches you can private label, and you can see in the description it says you can private label the product. So what you do once you do this is you contact the supplier and you say, look, I'm interested in private labeling, can you give me the information on terms of prices, how many units I need to order and whatnot. They'll get back to you in terms of what you need, and then what you do after that is you send them the design of the product you want in terms of how you want it designed. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a minute. So as I just said, you're going to contact the supplier who offers private labeling for your product and ask them for the requirements for your product labeling needs. For example, if you want custom packaging too. So like I said, I'm going to be showing you right now how to design the custom packaging, how to design the product design in terms of how you want the product to look with your branding on it, because this is very, very important. So when you contact the supplier first, you're asking for the requirements. Once they've given you the requirements, then you're going to say to them, look, this is the mock-up design I've got, this is the way I want my packaging to look also, can you do this for me? And they'll get back to you, and they'll also tell you if it can be done or it can't be done, or what adjustments need doing. So let me show you exactly how I do this. So I use a company called CrowdSpring. Now this is the company that I use to make mock-ups for the suppliers when I send them the images. So I'm going to show you exactly how CrowdSpring works right. So you can see we're on CrowdSpring right now, and I'm going to leave the link to this in the description below. What you can see here is you get to this part, and then it says here I need, and then select. What you do is you can scroll, and they've got loads of different things you can do, but you'll see right now there's one that's coming up right now where it says package design. So if you want your packaging in terms of the supplier, if you want things like the packaging to have your logo on it or made in a certain way, certain color and whatnot, then you click that one. But for now we're going to be doing product design. So you can see a product design, you click that, then you click start a product design, and then you fill in all the information it's asking for you. Then what normally happens is you're going to have a lot of people approaching you, and also what you're going to have is you're going to be working with a certain, so you're going to have lots of people contacting you, and then you pick the one that you like the most. Also what you're going to do is once you pick the person that you like the most, then what happens is you contact them, you get on a call with them, you really work out how you want everything doing, and they'll do it to whatever needs you want. And you can also, if the supplier says it can't be made in that certain way, you can get them to redo it to the supplier's needs as well. So this is to find a designer to do the product design for you. And like I said, you're going to get a lot of people approaching you after you fill out this contact form, and then you pick the one that you like, and then you get communicating with them either on a phone call or on a text. Now I recommend doing it on a phone call, because at the end of the day you want to take this seriously. So let's move on to the next. So as I was saying, you use crowdfunding to make the mock-ups for your packaging and your product. Then what you do is you forward it to the manufacturer. So if you're using Alibaba or DHgate, you forward it to them, and then they send it to their design manufacturing team, and they'll get back to you if they need anything changing. After you've placed the order, get everything shipped to the fulfillment center. So let's say, for example, you found the supplier, you've contacted them, you've given them the designs you want for your product, your packaging, and they've said yes, that's okay. You make the order. So once you place the order, let's say for 1,000 products, then what you need to do is you need to get it shipped to one of those fulfillment centers that I mentioned, like CJ Dropshipping or Fulfillment Co. One of those that you're going to want to get it sent to. Now, do bear in mind, US customs can be a hassle for FDA regulated products, so make sure your supplier is aware of this before making the purchase, so they can be best prepared for it. Now what I'm trying to say is some products are FDA. Now some of the suppliers might be FDA approved, some of the products might be FDA approved, but as soon as they get to US customs, then there's going to be a massive issue. Now the reason why there's going to be some issues is because at the end of the day there's a lot of war going on between China and the US at the moment, so you have to be very, very, very careful. Now if you're doing things like beauty products or products that you put in your mouth or you put on your skin, they're products that you're going to have a lot of issues with, in my opinion. You're going to get invoices, you're going to get a lot of fees added to stuff, so it can get a complete mess. Trust me when I say this, it can be a mess. So in my opinion, try and stay away from the beauty products if you want. Especially if you're doing US fulfillment, stay away from beauty products and stay away from digestibles and stuff like that, or stuff you put on your skin. If you're going to want to do those kind of products, use a China dropshipping agent and supplier. The reason be, and fulfillment center, the reason be is you're not going to have these issues. So if you haven't got those products, then feel free to use the US ones, because you're not going to fall into these FDA regulation issues. Now, this method is expensive, but you have more control and it's faster. So the US method is you have more control over everything. The communication is going to be a lot better. It's going to feel a lot more seamlessly. You're going to have faster shipping to your customers. They're going to be a lot more happy in terms of how the US fulfillment centers do the quality checks is a lot better as well. Just in terms of the overall quality is a lot better with the method that I've just showed you now, which is method 2. Method 1's very, very good, but method 2 in my opinion is a lot better from my experience. But at the end of the day, it does cost a little bit more. But that's literally how you private label products and you brand them. There's not much really to it. It's very, very simple, but the execution is where the key is. Now you need to make sure that you execute it the exact way I've told you. Now if you've got any questions for me, leave them in the comment section below.